Hey, Diane here. Just wanted to check in today and say hey, and I also wanted to kind of like show my face just to kind of make law enforcement be a little bit accountable to some things that have been going on for some time, and just kind of talk about that. You know, I'm blessed with an amazing family, and unfortunately, the situation has destroyed a family, literally, and it's certainly not okay, right? This situation, destroying a family. It's not a family situation that I'm familiar with, and why those actions, you know, would be taken. But everyone has their own way of processing things and dealing with things, I guess. So, my sister basically wants everyone to believe I'm mentally ill, which we are all mentally ill, right? I think everybody has some mental illness. She's in another state. My nieces and nephews are in other states as well, and I know they care about me. But honestly, this is part of a campaign that they're trying to do, right? And I'm going to explain that in just a minute. Before I go into that, I want to also explain that the way that this case is set up is really for me to talk about things so I do sound mentally ill, right? Part of the behaviors of people that have, you know, schizophrenia or psychotic or sometimes delusions and things like that. They basically want to talk, and they want to say, hey, this is a conspiracy against me, right? They want me to say that. They want me to say the things that sounds like it's a conspiracy against me. They want me to be paranoid, right? They want me to do all these things, right? So that they can get me involuntarily committed, right? Doesn't make much sense, right? Yeah. So what happened was, and I explained some of this too, and I'm trying not to cry, so I might be kind of, I'm just, 12 weeks of this has been a little bit much, right? So my daughter, the situation is with my daughter. I lived with her for 3 years, and life was great. Wonderful Nana. She complimented me. Been in recovery for a long time. Life really, really good. Great job. Life's going well. Attending church, doing just a good part of my life, right? I planned to get an apartment in February. Ended up moving in. I think the date was moved from mid-April to end of April. Around the time in April, I noticed some things going on with my son-in-law, and some manipulation and some things like that happened. I also noticed the progression of some things, right? So what would indicate that, hey, this little boy's been harmed, and so we're taking these steps, right? So one thinks, hey, I'm seeing all of this. They're going to try to accuse me of this, right? Knowing my son-in-law, right? So, and I was okay with that, right? Because you stay with God, and you basically, you know, the truth comes out, right? So I wasn't necessarily worried about that at all, because I knew I would have a court date or something, right? So it's a terrible thing, of course, right? An awful thing that something like that would even go on, and I have my whole spin on it, right? So, but my daughter has made a decision that she's going to have me committed, right? So what she did is she triggered this investigation. She let me move into my apartment. The investigation did happen because I lived it for 12 weeks, right? The basis of her situation, she's probably going to say something about medication. She's, you know, anti-medder, and she, you know, I don't know. I don't want to trash my daughter by any means, but I also have to save my life, and I want this out there. By suppressing what she's doing, well, actually, back to my situation with the investigation, they ravished my entire world. They came in and they basically were on a hunt to create a case, right? They were going to create a situation. They went everywhere I went. They basically were able to obtain what they needed to make me look like a horrible person, right? And again, this is the mental illness they're going to try to say that I'm doing. But they did. They were able to get what they needed. One hospital stay that I stayed at, I was getting some help for some anxiety, right? 2 detectives were there undercover, and they were able to get the assigned psychiatrist to work with them note my chart ways that things I was saying was symptoms, and I never had symptoms, and they gave me a harmful diagnosis, which I never had any of those symptoms as well, right? They maintained my medication that I had when I went into the hospital, and I'm continuing to take the medication, right? No other symptoms of any of that. I'm just living my life, right? Just life's going good, right? So with that being said, all of a sudden there's a barrage of my mom's so sick, my mom's so sick, my mom's so sick, right? And I'm doing what I need to be doing, and it's sort of a vicious attack. It's almost like my daughter's trying to get me committed unfairly, right? So, you know, it's kind of an awful thing, right? So what that would mean is I would be committed based on doing nothing, right? Absolutely nothing. I would lose a fair investigation, right? Because they used friends and family to get information to create a case without ever personally coming to me, right? They had an undercover officer meet me at church and have snow cones that clearly he was gathering information. It was ridiculous. And of course, you should be able to have to, right? These are your rights, right? Or I'm not, a very bad situation, right? So they don't need me, right? They don't need me. They've got their case. And the fact that they've suppressed any charges means that they don't intend for me to be around, period. And when you get in a mental institution and you harmed a child, they believe that you've harmed a child. I've done it. You're dead. You're gonna be harmed, right? You're mine. And so this is where I need your help. Why in the world would I lose my life? My son-in-law, he's still living. He gets to live his whole entire life, right? Why would I lose my life? Why? The other thing, when you're in a mental institution, right? We've got these detectives running amok all over my entire life. They literally destroyed and assassinated my life. And I say I'm the victim, and I am a victim. They have assassinated my entire life. It's an awful situation, right? And again, this isn't mental. This is truly what's gone on, right? So I needed my family to hear what I'm saying, right? Not hear what they're being told happening, hear what I'm saying and trust in what I'm saying and get me the help that I need to move forward, to get the legal help that I need, right? Because this is not an okay situation. And are they in it as well? Like, I'm not talking conspiracy and a mental illness. I'm talking this is a shit. Who would do this to their mother, right? Who would do this, right? When somebody can't take care of themselves, you bring them in their home. You bring them home, you help them, right? You don't just try to run them down and commit them when they haven't done anything, right? So that's sort of what's going on with me. I wanted to point out a little bit, I think I showed you my eyes a little bit, what's going on with that. It's just not a good situation. So am I safe? I'm making myself safe, of course. Trying to work DoorDash. Those are the customers. 2 of them have come and said something that they're getting a call from the police, from the authorities, that says that I am a child molester and I'm delivering food and to be careful. That's a hard one, right? And actually, it makes me definitely upset. I'm a U.S. citizen and I have rights. And we don't just go around and create situations and tell the whole world about this person without coming to them, giving them the judicial process, or even asking them questions. You just come in and assassinate their life, right? And if that's what's gone on and that's what you've heard, then my God, is this how it works? This is not okay. This is a total assassination on my life without any judicial rights. If you were told something, do you believe it? Was it true? Like, what's going on here, right? The authorities, I will tell you, they have access to my entire apartment, right? I believe they were here before I ever moved in, right? Sharing it. Access to my phone, right? They have access to my phone right now. They have access to my laptop, you could contact my employer, our IT department, and they're totally aware of that as well at Trinity Oaks Mortgage. So here I am, I'm losing my whole entire life, and I've done absolutely nothing, right? So what I'm asking for help is, first of all, I'm asking you for help to pray for my family. That God just brings that union together, and that God brings down the heavenly realm, right? I ask that you pray for me. I ask that you pray for my daughter, that she snaps out of whatever she's doing. This is just not okay. We deal with this another way. We don't have to commit our mother who's done nothing. We do not have to do that, right? We give people a judicial process. We give people, we knock on the doors and we say, you're accused of this, right? Right? And you have a chance to defend yourself. You have whatever's going on, right? We have that judicial process here in our country. And this was not extended to me. This was just an utter assassination on my life with no regard for me, with no regard for anything. They just assassinated my life. So I ask you please to just believe in what I'm telling you. First of all, believe in what I'm telling you. And I ask you that you continue to pray. If you have anybody in the hierarchy of the government that can step in here and make help with this situation, because it is a complete injustice. It is beyond an injustice. And I also ask that you pray for my daughter, and you pray for your son-in-law. My family's in a little campaign that they had. My one sister told my other sister that they're going to text Diane. Texting Diane we're worried about, we love you so much, we're so concerned about you, we love you, to we're so worried about you, we're worried, oh my gosh, we're so worried, to you've changed so much, you are a train wreck, you are awful, ugly, and that's the part, because I'm a person of integrity and honesty. I love my family, I love God, I love everything about the world, I love life, I love my grandbabies, who I'll never see again. And so what I'd like to have happen is somebody can get somebody in here to investigate the actions of the law enforcement. So it would be Denton County, it would be Northlake, and it would be the FBI. So it's just been a barrage of right, of what's been happening. And so I just beg of you, please, to do some investigation. Also, if you could write a letter to the courts in good favor of myself. These investigators have worked to create a case that I'm an evil person or something along the lines of that. And I went to drop the flowers off, and of course my son-in-law said, "You're an evil person," and I almost had to chuckle it for just a minute. I had to chuckle just about a minute there, but I just kind of let it go because he can think that, and I'm far from that. I mean, I was beautiful enough to help raise the babies right, and beautiful enough to do a lot. And of course I love every second of it, and I need that opportunity back, right? So detectives had access to everything in my house constantly, right? It's a free-for-all. They had access to, there's something to do with cameras. And I'm not saying there are cameras in my house, there could be, but there's permits for that. But there's something related to some pictures or something that was going on. I don't know anything about that. I don't know, kind of just picked up pieces of things that maybe went on while I was here. So I just need some help, because some things sort of kind of pieces coming together a little bit with things that I'm hearing from people. And but I haven't, again, my heart is pure. My heart is just, I need some help. And it's not the mental health, I'm okay with that, right? I'm concerned about my life when it gets into the mental institution part, and I should never have been there. I should have never been there at all, right? And so my sisters know this information to protect me, and my family is making an effort to make me look bad. My family is purposefully doing this, right? And they're punishing me for something they believe I did where I don't even get an opportunity, right? Oh, no opportunity. And this is not okay. So if I can, you know, come stay with you, seek refuge until we can get this figured out. I'll comply with all law enforcement, of course, but involuntary commitment, that's, we can do the legal process. We need to do a legal process, right? I have my constitutional rights, and I deserve to have that. So I deserve to be treated respectfully. I haven't done a thing, and this is what has to be addressed, and this is what needs to be investigated, so, I mean, there's a reason why my family's doing this, right? But they won't tell me the reason. And it's not a matter of me being mentally ill. It's a matter of them getting revenge on me. What daughter does this, right? This is scary. This is some scary stuff. And I'm challenging her mental health as well. And it's a revengeful thing that's going on. And it's gonna cost me my life. It's gonna cost me my mind. They're already doing that to my mind, right? They're already destroying my mind with chemicals, right? And so nothing to do, and again, not mental illness, factual based, right? Factual based. And I love you all so much. Thank you so much. And please pray for me. Please remember my heart. And if you have anybody that can help me legally to protect my rights here, I would really appreciate this so much. And this has been a journey for sure. And I'm gonna get through this, right? And if you can allow me a place to stay till this can get done, I would appreciate that as well. I love you bunches. Bye-bye.